Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Examiner Gamer podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tristan, and I am joined by Lauren.
Hey, guys.
And it's going to be another week playlist, but that is because it is a great week for news. So many amazing announcements as we get closer and closer to E3. And in conjunction with that, we're going to give some E3 predictions. To kick things off, a little bit of stuff we played. I can't remember how long ago it was, but for one of the PlayStation lineup for the free games, they had Valiant Hearts, which was an Ubisoft game that came out last year. And it is basically an adventure game set in World War I. You play as 4 different people, and I knew from like the trailers that it was going to be like a gut punch, just like yeah, this is going to be like a sad thing or whatever. And I didn't know how I was going to play because I knew it was like an action game, and it pretty much is like an adventure game. You go into these sections, and you have to solve puzzles in order to like do stuff. Like you may have to get another uniform. In order to get that uniform, this guy wants some wine, but in order to get that wine, you got to get this. So it's like a step-by-step process for like puzzle stuff. And it's beautiful, awesome 2D art. It's very, oh my gosh, it is so French. It is so French. I will go right to the end and say I legitimately cried. And it wasn't like I teared up like, oh, that was sad. It was like, I was really just like crying. I was like, I don't know why I'm crying so much. It was like I think it's the first time I ever really cried at any video game. It was just like, it hit me like right.
Yeah, I can think
right
of
in my feels.
I mean, I've teared up, but I can't think of when I've last like legitimately cried at the end of a video game.
Everyone talks about like, oh, Aerostyle. Like when I played that, I was like really young. I was like, oh,
yeah. I mean,
she
like
died.
It was sad, but I didn't cry.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, she's dead.
I got a little teary at like the end of Mass Effect just because I've been with like that character for so long, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's over. We're not going to do anything new again.
This ending's horrible.
Oh, yeah, the ending was like, well, that was a letdown. My choices, they meant nothing.
I credit that one too. And other than that, I've been playing a lot of retro games. I've had my hand in a lot of projects I've been trying to finish up for 2015. A lot of retro stuff. I just played 6 McDonald's games.
Because that's how you roll.
And before that, I played like 20 Fire Emblem games, and so I'm just making a lot of projects, and you can find those, of course, in the video links and my articles and all that stuff. But that's pretty much it for me. I'm waiting for The Witcher 3 to come out, and then I'll play that. You been playing anything interesting?
I've been playing Dragon Age 2 because I like to play things out of order. That's how I roll. Little hard to go to that after playing Inquisition, but it's fine. I'm really enjoying it. It's got solid story, good voice acting, good characters. So the graphics... I
still think that's my favorite battle system.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've had the game for a long time, and I kept like starting it, and then something else would come along, and
this game sucks.
Next. Yeah. I had trouble, I don't know, getting into the battle system, and now when I sat down, maybe because I played Inquisition, I'm like, oh, it's super easy. I don't know why I was being an idiot. Still playing Xenoblade Chronicles. Loving it. I've heard it's huge, so I'm probably not that far. I think I've got most of the main party recruited.
Man, you're still not to the part where I want to just, like, dissect it.
I'm sorry, I keep getting it's a completionist nightmare, and I'm a little bit of a completionist, and all these side quests are driving me nuts.
Maybe you'll finish up by the time Xenoblade X comes out.
Maybe. Then I'll have to buy a Wii U. I'm playing a mobile game. I'm not a huge fan of mobile games, but I'm playing Final Fantasy VI Mobile.
On your cellular device?
On my mobile device. My PS1 disc is scratched, and I missed the GBA version, so I wanted to play it.
That PS1 version is garbage anyway, so good thing it's scratched.
It was the only one I had, so I would have used it, but... So this is fine. It's pretty good. The art styles, they changed it, I think. They
ruined it.
I don't know if it was like that for the GBA version too.
No,
they
made a weird, yeah.
I mean, the character portraits are okay, but...
Right, I understand where you're coming from. Anyway, let's get to the news, because I am just burning with desire. All right, news! Oh my gosh! So, Lauren, you get your...
I asked for this like 2 or 3 podcasts ago.
You get your Castlevania. Koji Ajirashi, I said that really weird, but he announced his Kickstarter finally. We all know it was coming, but he's basically making Castlevania all but a name. It is called Bloodstain Ritual of the Night.
Really excited.
You should watch the Kickstarter video. There's only like art for it. There's not like actual gameplay.
Yeah.
But he does some like weird, wacky things. He's like a great guy. They already made their goal, and they keep on getting better and better things as like it gets on. Like it's coming to PS4. David Hayter's gonna do a voice. That's awesome. And yeah, I can't wait for this thing. People still want 2D Castlevania.
Yeah.
Konami. Let's just actually segue into that real quick.
All right, so we've been ranting about Konami for a while. I know you guys did a podcast pretty much just all about ranting about Konami.
Yep.
But I guess it's official. Apparently the president, Hideki Hayakawa, said that their main platform from now on will be mobile. Mobile is the future of games. So, yeah, we can look forward, after I just said how much I love mobile games, at Konami is just going for...
When I think of mobile games, I think about Candy Crush. There are some good mobile games, but I just don't like gaming on my phone, even if there are a couple nice ones that I care to every once in a while.
I don't know, the battery drains all the time.
I can't wait for my free-to-play Snake Eater.
Well, that's just like, you know, for a while they said they were going to continue Metal Gear. And
Metal Gear Pachinko machines.
I guess part of this interview, I didn't read the interview because it was in Japanese, so I read somebody else.
I looked at it, and I was like, yep, still can't read it. Yeah, I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I talked too much about it last week, and I don't want to give them any more credit. I'm kind of depressed, but this next story is depressing as well. Where Assassin's Creed finally showed their hand, and they announced Syndicate.
You mean the hand where they say we're never going down? We're never going to stop.
We're never going to stop.
You cut off one head and two more shall rise.
Never going to give you up. Rumored to be called Victory. It was taking place in London, and it's still taking place in London, but it's called Syndicate. And I feel like they just did that. Be like, no, it's not Victory. We didn't change the name at all. It's called Syndicate. This trailer did not get me hyped at all. You said it very well. It's like very dark and dim. And it doesn't even really look like London. It does. Like, everyone looks like they're from Sherlock.
It looks like, it looks like
but
a set of
also,
Sherlock.
It's not, like, exciting. And the guy has no context. He says, like, we're being oppressed, so we're going against. And that's just, like, every Assassin's Creed game. And he just has, like, a smirk on his face. He's not like, I came from a...
Like, he's a good-looking guy, but he looks like a douchebag.
And I didn't finish Unity. I played a couple hours of that, and I just, with all the breaking and stuff, I just didn't go back to it. I don't know. I'm done with it.
I've been done with it for a long time. I don't know if anyone loved Assassin's Creed 1 more than me. Well, I'm sure people did. But I really loved Assassin's Creed 1. And I really liked 2. And that was the last one I finished.
So I played every single one up until 4. Revelations and 3 were the downfalls for me, but 4 rekindled my love. And even though they lost, like, the main story, I was into 4. But going back again to that main story, and I'm referring, of course, to Desmond Miles. There was the dual story. There was, like, the cool historical stuff in there, and then there was, like the real stuff, and you're trying to figure out the mystery.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got, like, crazy, because they kept on releasing, like, every single year a new one, and they try to, like, make new stories out of that instead of, like, really expanding upon it.
And then they just kind of abandoned the Desmond storyline.
And then the end of the world happened. Spoilers! At the end of 3, basically the end of the world happened, and it's really muddled. And then they're just like, okay, so now the story is you are working for Ubisoft, but it's not called Ubisoft, and you're just playing these games because we're making these games. So how meta is that? That's cool, huh, guys?
So that's okay. I never really looked into what happened after 3. Why were you still going back in time? So
that's it. So 4 actually was setting up. They had characters, the English dude and the chick that did the computer stuff.
Sean,
those two,
somebody. They
were trying to recruit you, and there was like a big thing that happened in 4. And then they gave that up, and now it's just like, no, you're just a random person just playing this game, and they just lost the heart of it. But like Konami, I just want to get off of this because I could rant about Konami and Assassin's Creed forever. Let's move on to happier things, but it's also sad things. Square Enix announced Dragon Quest VIII is coming to the 3DS, which is awesome, but we still haven't got Dragon Quest VII on the 3DS, even though that's been out in Japan for like 2 years. So we're probably...
4?
We talked... I can't remember if it was me and you, or if it was me and Shay that talked about this, but when they announced that Dragon Quest Heroes, which is the Dynasty Warriors spin-off game for the PS4 that's coming out soon, that is the first Dragon Quest game we are getting, since Monster Joker 2, which was a spin-off Pokemon kind of game, which came out in 2011. And I know that they have come up with ports for, but I don't want to count those because those are kind of terrible ports because they're mobile devices, as we have established that we don't like mobile device games, except for, Vita and 3DS. And I just want this game so bad. So that one's set to come out in August, so maybe Square Enix or Nintendo will unveil if they're bringing both of them out of here. I don't know, that's more like a wish, but it's just a wish I really, really want. Oh, okay, so Square Enix done. Let's actually go back to Ubisoft real quick here. Tom Clancy's The Division. This was announced about 2 years ago at E3, and it's been very scarce since because it seems like it's in development hell, one of those games. And basically the premise is, to those that don't know, Black Friday.
Talking about.
Black Friday happens. Terrorists put poison in the money of some sort, and it got passed around because Black Friday America, of course.
Yeah, nobody uses money on Black Friday. It's all credit cards.
Well, in the Ubisoft universe, they use money. Everything went to hell, and now you're in New York, and you're trying to piece things back together as like some kind of weird unit, and you're trying to survive, and it looks great. It's like an apocalypse that happens like only like a month later, which is cool. Like The Last of Us, but The Last of Us, I can't remember. It was like 20 years. Wasn't it like 20 years, something like that?
I don't know if it was that long, but it was a chunk of time.
This one, I think, is only like a couple months or something like that. Everything looks like it's still fairly new. So, I don't know. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. They kind of announced that they have a new developer on it, and it's going to be coming out sometime between January 2016 and March 2016. Okay, let's go back to Square Enix once again. And last time, Shay and I talked about how they're making their own event, Square Enix. And then there was speculation because that was the time slot of Nintendo's usual thing. And Nintendo announced what they're doing, and it's the same time. And before we went to air, it was like, oh, I was going to make some big Clash thing, like who are you going to watch or whatever. But now, very recently...
They threw in the towel.
Threw in the towel. They're like, we'll push... Square Enix was like, we'll go an hour later. And I don't know if someone was planning that and they just didn't know Nintendo was that time, or they're like, we're going to force Nintendo's hand because we announced first, or I don't know what they're thinking. But either way, I think I don't want to make it a bigger story than it is because it's just time stuff. And people I don't know, whatever. So that's been resolved. That's been resolved.
Move on.
More Nintendo stuff. Speaking of when they announced their time slot, they also said that they're bringing back the Nintendo World Championship, which occurred in 1990 and was like a big thing stuff. Yeah. Fred Savage was a part of it. And so they're having some pre-events starting on the 30th of May, and then the actual tournament's on the 13th, the Sunday before everything, which seems like it's going to be an all-day thing. But the Bethesda's conference is that night, I believe. So,
yeah.
I don't have much to say about that because I just knew that it's cool that they're bringing this championship back. I don't know. It's also cool that Universal and Nintendo are going to team up to put Nintendo stuff in their theme parks.
Which they've literally said nothing else about, but I'm hoping like Harry Potter Land will have like Nintendo Land or something now.
And then the last thing is very confusing, and I don't want to get anything wrong really, but...
So why are you talking about it?
So about a month ago... Well, for a long time, actually, it's been rumored that they're going to make a remastered collection of the Gears of War franchise for the Xbox One, which would include, I don't know, the first 3 games or the 4 games, I don't know, whatever. So that was the rumor, and then someone leaked images on YouTube about, like, their Xbox dashboard, like, oh, look, I'm playing this, like, not actually, like, the menu, basically. That's, if you're going to, like, leak something, why would you only, like, push out and just, like, put the menu, like, look, it's this. Yeah. Like, that's, like, the easiest
You're going to break your non-disclosure agreement. Like, break your non-disclosure
agreement. Show some gameplay or something. But I guess, like, if you show a screenshot of a menu, that's, like, less, like...
But if you do that, then they're just going to, like, rework the game at the last minute and put out a crappy quality where the ending sucks suddenly because spoilers, and then
So, Xbox was quiet about this, like, no, we're not doing that. That's crazy. That obvious thing, we're not doing that. I just don't... Before we get into the actual story here... I don't understand why game companies are so secretive about some obvious thing.
Especially, it's not a new game. It's a game that's been out for years.
This industry is so weird that they have to keep these things secret so that you can surprise some gamers later on. It's not like someone's taking somebody else's idea. It's like, Sony can't be like, remaster of Gears of War? We should do that!
Yeah.
No, they can't because they can't. Only Microsoft can do a remaster, so no one is being hurt.
It's like, oh, we spoiled the announcement of a new Gears of War. Everyone assumes that their favorite games are going to be remastered. I mean...
If it wasn't new Gears of War, then it would be like, okay, something, but this is just a remaster.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the people that put it up broke their NDA.
It's the game you've already played.
Broke their NDA, and Xbox is quiet about it. They're like, oh, no, it doesn't exist. That's just fake or whatever. Now, they just came out, and they basically banned these people that put this stuff up from Xbox Live. And it first came out that people thought that they bricked their consoles where they couldn't do anything, but then Microsoft sent out another PR press statement where it's like, no, they can still enjoy their console offline or whatever. It's still, like, weird that they just...
And does that mean they can't update their games? Because... today's age, like, so many games are unplayable day one.
You are right, Lauren. They cannot update patches. They cannot play online games like Destiny, which requires you to play games. So, I mean, you can play games, but, I mean, really, how much can you play? And I should also mention that these guys are just beta testers for this thing. So, they're on some kind of contract with Microsoft. So, I guess Microsoft can't just, like, fire them from the company since, I mean, they can just break the contract. But at the same time, I don't know, it just seems very petty for them to do this because a lot of people shared it, and I don't know, it's very confusing, and it's just kind of scared because of how powerful it seems Microsoft can just like stop your console from working in any kind of like proper way. But at the same time, also they broke their NDA, so it's their fault as well. So I don't know, it's all very...
It's just a remastering of games you've already made that you're really only remastering so people can play them on your new system because there's no backwards compatibility.
I just don't understand the mentality of like, okay, yeah, it's coming out, and then you take the PR, like, we want to do something with this, but here it is, here's all the stuff. But I mean, at some points, if it leaks too early, maybe they're not ready, so they don't want to
It's like most remasters, it's not going to be that good anyway, so take all the like free press and hype that you can get.
Yeah, Halo.
Yeah, Silent Hill.
Anyway, let's get out of this rambunctious hole and let's get into some E3 production. Hey everybody, it's your host the most, it's Tristan. Are you liking the show so far? I really hope you are. I can't stress this enough, I really want to hear feedback. So drop me a line on YouTube or on my Examiner page, anywhere you feel like it. Let me know what you like about the show, what you don't like, what you want to see added. And of course, if you want to support me, you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as follow my writing on Examiner.com. That's EXAMINER, Examiner.com. It's the place to go for everything you want to know. Check it out. Now, back to the show. Hey, it's E3 prediction time. This is the time that I love the most. Okay, so we'll be going through, like I said earlier, 5 each for all the big conferences, which is Microsoft, followed by Sony, followed by Nintendo. And after Lauren and I talk about our 15 predictions, I actually sat down with Shay, which I will edit in here at the end. Anyway, so let's start off with Microsoft. Everyone is talking about Battletoads and like, man, they're definitely going to make a Battletoads sequel. And I don't think they're going to make that risk. I think they're basically going to remake the first one and make it like an XBLA downloadable game. I think that is a safe bet.
Yeah, they're not going to make a new one, even though that's what people want. They want those old games.
Xbox is desperate. They have so many like rare properties that they now own, so they can just go back on the well and be like, this is this game and we're doing that. And I got a quick one for my next bet. I think Rock Band 4 is going to be on stage because they love Rock Band. It'll be a crowd pleaser, and I don't know, it's been there before, so I think they'll just get that out of the way, have a quick demo, and yeah, nothing else really to say about that. Nothing crazy. They might have somebody famous on stage, like a musician or whatever. I don't know who's hot, but I don't know, Bieber or something, something like that. I also think there's going to be a Resident Evil exclusive for the Xbox One. I don't think it's going to be a pure exclusive, but they'll have it here. They'll be like, you get these things free for this one.
I agree. I think there's going to be something Resident Evil at E3. I don't know if it'll be in Microsoft or not, but
I think
somebody's going to have Resident Evil 7 reboot something.
I think it's going to be like a 4-player co-op game, like Operation Raccoon City. I think that game sold well, even though it was a crap game.
It could have been fun.
So, going back into the deep catalog of rare games, they had this RPG called Wizards and Warriors which about is as 90s you can get. I actually think it started maybe 80s, and that is like generic title that you would have back then. They'll probably reboot that because they don't have an exclusive RPG anymore. They have Fable, but it's not turn-based. That's more like an action thing. So, and then last year, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, he said his favorite game ever is Voodoo Vince. And since he's in charge, he could be like, make an HD remake.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it so. Number.
So, yeah, I think that's going to happen. And I think those are all pretty safe. I think I got that locked in. What about you, Lauren? What are your predictions?
I think we're going to hear some Mass Effect 4 news. Hopefully a little bit more than last year. I don't know if we get a trailer yet, but...
Here's some more art.
Yeah, here's some more art. I mean, they kind of had that big deal they were talking about, like the spoiler, where they kind of went into plot details, which may or may not be true, which were very vague plot details, where you're like, an explorer looking for a new planet, pretty much. I'm really hoping for a remastering of 1 through 3 on the Xbox One, and even though this is the Microsoft conference, on the PlayStation 4. I think it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to have the new Tomb Raider game, Rise of Tomb Raider. I'm thinking they're going to have a new Banjo-Kazooie that maybe they're going to announce this year.
So
I know there have been some Kickstarters out there that really look similar to...
Kazookalele... No, ukulele. I always keep on referring it to Kazookalele. Anyway, instead of a bear and a bird, it's a...
gecko and a bat.
Yeah.
Why not? I play that.
It's X-Rare.
It looks stupidly cute.
It's X-Rare people. And these are the people that made Banjo-Kazooie. And they just want to make this new game. They made the Kickstarter like in half an hour. And it looks so awesome. You should look up the trailer and give them some money because it looks so good. But I think in that same vein, I think they have been developing Banjo-Kazooie for a while. People have been asking for it. And I think when they announced the ukulele thing, Microsoft probably crapped their pants and like, no, now they're making something better.
They're probably going to show off their VR augmented reality, their Project Halo.
HoloLens.
Yeah, Project Halo, that's something. They're probably going to just talk about Halo too, but
Halo is...
Halo will be augmented into your living room. It's going to look super awesome in the demo and be really cool, and then we're all going to go home and think about it, and you're going to go, that's not going to work in my living room. And Microsoft has been super happy since acquiring the Minecraft, so I'm expecting that we'll see Minecraft 2 as a Xbox exclusive.
Okay, let's move into Nintendo. I think they're going to have an Amiibo World game. I don't think it's going to be called that, but I basically think Nintendo is going to announce their Skylanders game where you take any amiibo that you have.
Where your amiibos become useful.
You put it on a portal, and you get to walk around in a big open world environment kind of thing. Kind of like Skylanders, like an action RPG kind of thing. And it's going to be collaborated with Namco Bandai, or Bandai Namco, whatever they call themselves now, because they worked on Smash. And since Smash is done, this is the next project. So they might not show anything. They might say that we're in collaboration with Bandai Namco with something exclusive for Amiibo, and we'll just say that I get the point. I thought about Wario getting his own game because it's been a while since he had an awesome platformer. But then I thought Waluigi should get his own game because he's never been in his own game. And then I'm like, what if they make a spin-off to the Mario RPG series and it's Wario and Luigi and it's just a weird, crazy adventure? Because they've kind of taken Mario and Luigi with their RPGs as far as they can go. I need to reboot it somehow. And just having Wario and Waluigi be just freaking fiends and doing dumb stuff is amazing, and having them be like, "Wah!" and all their crazy sound effects. I think there's going to be a new Final Fantasy for the Wii U because there hasn't been a console Final Fantasy yet for the Wii U, and so I think it's going to be a Crystal Chronicles thing, basically.
That would be nice, and no cords.
Yeah, you can do multiplayer. One person can play with the controller on the TV with the Wiimote, and one person can play on the gamepad. Super cool. I think those games have always been great. It's just finding someone to be able to do with the chords and stuff is just crazy.
I've never played Crystal Chronicles with another person, and I've always wanted to. It's my sad story. I feel bad for me.
I don't know. Yes, feel shame. But next, I have a really random thing that's not going to happen. But since Lucas is going to be made into an amiibo, and he's coming to Smash Brothers sometime, probably this summer. I can't exactly remember if they said the release or not. Anyway, it'd be great if they decided to release Mother 3, and you can only get Mother 3 if you buy the Lucas amiibo. And because it's going to be like a super rare amiibo, probably like a GameStop exclusive since NES was, that means like only like 1,000 people can get the game. It's like, hey, at least 1,000 people are happy. So stop bothering us. And then the eBay prices will just skyrocket. Or people will just keep on pirating the fan translation online or whatever. But it's nice to dream. And last, I thought about talking about the Pokemon sequel because that for sure is coming out this year. But then I'm like, nah, that's boring. How about Pokemon Conquest II?
Oh,
The Nobunaga Koei strategy game that they came out with like 2 or 3 years ago. Good premise. I think they could expand on it. And that was for the DS. This one's going to be through 3DS. And it's going to be awesome. And that's my predictions.
okay, my Nintendo predictions. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think has been released in Japan, so I think we'll see
It has.
a demo for that. Maybe a release date for the US, some other trailers. My next two predictions, I think they said they weren't going to talk about at E3, but whatever. These are my predictions. I can say whatever I want. They're going to maybe give some info on their new system, the NX. Talk about what that's going to be like. I'm hoping it's like a handheld that you can then plug into your TV. We've talked about that before on the podcast, so maybe we'll get a few more details on that.
Bold prediction.
It is. Since they said they aren't going to do it, yes, that would be a bold prediction.
Yeah, it probably won't. But, it could be a surprise. What about your next prediction, which will also probably not happen?
As we've discussed before, we love mobile gaming. But I would be interested to see what kind of games they're going to make. Like, what's going on? Are they going to continue their series? Are they going to be more like puzzle games?
The Wii U game is actually a mobile game.
Yeah, there is no more Wii U. I'm hoping that they're going to announce some new exclusive games for their new 3DS. Right now we have Xenoblade Chronicles, and that's all we have. And while I'm really enjoying that, I would like to see some more GameCube or Wii games get made for this new system that they made out. My one that I really want, but I know it's not going to happen, I'd really love to see Eternal Darkness ported onto the 3DS. But maybe some of those Wii RPGs like what was it, The Last Story, and some of those other ones would be cool to see too. But
Pandora's Tower?
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. But I'd really like to play Eternal Darkness. I got my GameCube too late, and I could never find a copy of it. And then I'm thinking they're going to make some Amiibo announcements. We have the last, I think, wave of Smash figures.
So we looked into it, and I was actually surprised that they have announced almost every single one.
Yeah, there's
Wave
only a few left.
7 will be coming out in the summer, so there's nothing in the fall. So my thought is that they're going to announce that the fall lineup will be Falco, Rob the Robot, Mr. Game & Watch, Duck Hunt, Duck and Dog, Lucas and Mewtwo, and then maybe out of randomness, Lauren was like, how about Bayonetta? And Bayonetta will be...
That would be cool.
She will be added into Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to keep adding characters in, there's...
So that'll be the last wave of Smash Bros. Amiibo, and then they can move on to other stuff. Because they've done another line, which was the Super Mario one, and then they announced the Squid one, and then there's also the line of the Yarn ones, too. Mm-hmm. So once they're done with Smash...
I hope they continue to make, like, new figures, and they don't just start remake, like they have the Yarn ones, and they had like the Gold Mario.
Oh,
and everything.
So all the ones that are out now we're just making Yarn of everybody. We're making Mega Man Yarn. We're making Lucas Yarn. We're making Marth Yarn.
New figures.
Sony is last. I think Rockstar is going to come on stage and with a bear. They're going to ride a bear on stage, and then they're going to switch to a horse and be like,
now I'm on a horse.
Red Dead 2. Yeah, now I'm a horse. Red Dead 2. You know I was coming. Actually, no. I think if they just walk out on stage in a car and then get on a horse and walk up a stage, I think that's about as good as you can get as be like Red Dead whatever.
Yeah.
The first one is Red Dead Revolver. Second one is Red Dead Redemption. It'll be Red Dead something. It won't be Red Dead Redemption 2. It'll be Red Dead whatever. Red Dead Revengeance. I think Sony is going to make a PlayStation All-Stars 2. But not call it that. It's going to be a collaboration with all the properties, but they're going to make a MOBA. But MOBAs are like huge, even though there's been a couple cancellations of MOBAs. But I think one of these companies is going to have a MOBA of some sort. And I think Sony's the one that wants to keep on making their brand bigger with all their stuff. Because I actually like the PlayStation characters. People are like, who is this person? But if you haven't followed Sony, then of course you're not going to know who these people are. But they have the God of War 3 remaster coming out. And they wouldn't do that unless they were going to, talk about the next one. And I don't want Kratos anymore. I really think they've been talking about this since the first one, where it's going to be like their idea kind of was, or at least the original vision I think was, every single God of War will be a God of War from some other mythology. So this will be a reboot.
Different, like a different country,
different religion, stuff like that. So maybe it'll be like
an Asian one or
like
a Middle Eastern
Norse
one,
gods
or something.
or Indian gods.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
It's time.
I never really liked Kratos that much as a character.
The games are great.
Yeah, they're fun.
Except for Ascension. But Kratos sucks. He is just a sucky character. The
Kratos.
gods killed basically his daughter and wife. I get why he's angry and he's mean to the gods. But he also does whatever he wants to, like peasants and stuff. Mega Man Legends 3 was cancelled. I think this is based off of Tron Bond randomly coming in the PlayStation Store. I don't just think that they're going to have the PSN versions of 2 and 1 come out of Legends. I think they're going to go to Capcom and be like, look, we will help you with Mega Man Legends 3. Here's some money. We will help publish this game. And they're going to announce Mega Man Legends 3 exclusive to the PlayStation franchise. Street Fighter V is an exclusive for the PlayStation as of now because they're going to help with it. I believe that's what it is. It's about as confusing as it is with Microsoft and Rise of the Tomb Raider. And then they're probably going to talk about Guerrilla Games' next game. Their Project Horizon has been rumored for a long time. There's been some like leaked art for it. No screenshots, but art. It's supposed to be like a RPG shooter kind of thing. So it's about time that we hear something new from them besides Killzone. So that's my Sony stuff. What about you?
Sony. I am a big Uncharted fan, and I mean Uncharted 4 has been announced. We've got a trailer, and it's been pushed back, but I'm hoping we'll either get a new trailer with some more story info or a demo or something like a release date more than next year. Or I'm hoping that they'll announce that 1 through 3 is going to be remastered. I know there's been a lot of rumors about that. I'm hoping for something official, like yes, this fall you're going to get 1 through 3 on the PS4 or something.
I think Uncharted anything is for sure.
Yeah.
It's not coming out to 2016. They've said that,
but they're going to show it off.
They'll have a
It's their
demo,
big thing.
and I also think that in the meantime, because we're pushing it back, hey, this fall.
Perfect.
Yeah, remaster.
I'm hoping.
It's obvious.
I was hoping. There's just not a lot of PS2 games on the PSN, and the Vita is kind of dead. So I'm really hoping that they'll add more PS2 games to the PSN, and that you'll be able to like play them like on the PS4, on the PS3, but they'll also be compatible with the Vita. So we had the demo for Final Fantasy 15. They're updating the demo. I think version 2.0 is coming out sometime soon. So I don't think we'll get a release date. I don't think we'll be that lucky. But maybe there'll be some more information on...
Final Fantasy 15. The demo's out now.
Yeah.
And so is the game.
I'm thinking it's time for a new Quantic Dream David Cage game.
Yeah, like 2 years ago they showed off the Dark Sorcerer, which is that... Did you see that? He's like a wizard, and there's like a goblin. It's supposed to be like an onstage thing. Mm-hmm. But he's done a lot of demo things like that. It hasn't been the thing that comes out. But that was just him showing off the technology that he can do with the PS4. So I think for sure...
Now that the PS4 is out, he'll make a game for that. And my last one is I would really like to see a new game from that game company. I don't know how they would top Journey, but I would like a new game. I think they have like a 3-game contract with Sony or something like that. So I'm hoping they show off at least one of their games that they're going to be coming out with soon. And those are my Sony predictions.
Okay, so that's it for us. I'm going to insert my little interview with Shay where we talk about what his predictions are. So, I am sitting here with Shay.
Hey guys.
And so, give me your 5 for Microsoft.
Okay, Microsoft's big announcements will involve a new Gears of War finally coming out after, what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been like a couple of years, but actually, funnily enough, Shay, there was a leaked rumor of a Gears of War HD collection, but I think it would also be cool if they're like, hey, here's an HD collection, but we're also showing off the new one. So that's not a bad prediction.
Oh man, I did not do any research before talking about these things.
That's okay. Go on.
All right, there is going to be a new Unreal tournament.
Yes. There is going to be that.
Oh man. I really need to research this stuff.
It's okay. It's funny. I want you to keep on going. But like, that's a great prediction. Oh my gosh, it came true.
There's gonna be a new Tomb Raider.
No way you didn't know this one. We talked about this on a
Did
podcast.
we?
Last time you
Shit.
said,
Okay.
it's exclusive.
I think that's why it's in my head. Is because we talked about it. All right.
Okay, go on.
Okay. Xbox One Microsoft will now go back into the original Xbox library of
To the
games.
future.
Start putting more of those on their store or make them available for people to purchase.
Just to buy normally or like HD upgrades or...
Let's go with HD upgrades because that would be very cool if they took the time to do that. And
All right.
the last one is that there's going to be a new Conker's Bad Fur Day.
You know, last year they kind of made a point to say that Conquer is not going to get his own game, but they may surprise us all. Let's move on from Microsoft, though, and get into Sony next.
Oh, Square will announce that for the PlayStation, they're going to release a Romancing Saga collection.
This is a wish.
This is totally a wish, but it could happen. There will somehow be some new Final Fantasy collaboration collection also available on the store. I seem to have focused a lot on Square on this.
Next.
A new Uncharted will be announced, maybe demoed.
Oh, you know what, Shay? Oh, my mind. Oh my gosh, it came true.
What? Damn it! Damn it!
All it takes is to type Uncharted into Google, and then the first thing that pops up would probably be the new game.
Oh man. Okay. Final Fantasy 16 will be announced to be one of Square's last console games.
Console games? Wow, they're getting out of the business. Wow,
Yep.
that's 3 predictions for Square, even though they have their own press conference. They're gonna have like so many fun things, and then this one's gonna be like, and then we're getting out of the business.
We're getting out of the business. We're gonna focus mostly on building browser games.
Don't depress me for this last prediction here.
Just more games. More games from the PS2 era will be put on the PlayStation Network.
3 of your predictions are things will be available to buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
On the store.
Because I honestly,
That's
I was like, what
That's a
properties do I want them to have?
That's a pretty safe. Well, actually, it's hard to say, but yeah.
We all
Okay.
know Romancing Saga ain't getting no store
You'll be
treatment.
so happy. Like you predicted. Well, you wished for Dragon Quest VIII, like HD, and you kind of got it with the 3DS.
Oh,
Speaking of Nintendo, let's go back. Let's go into that now.
All right.
Segue.
they are going to announce that they will be revamping, retooling, repurposing 3 classic titles. I have no idea what classic titles they pick. I sort of always feel really surprised when I see that Nintendo's releasing a new game.
Well, the biggest one was when like they showed up Donkey Kong Country Returns,
Mhm.
and that was also I think the same year that like Kid Icarus and maybe Punch Out. Those 3 were like all within the same time frame. It's like, wow, they're actually like going back and like bringing back these classic franchises. So
I hope that there will be at
So-
least 3 new ones from games that have not been touched in over 20 years. Luigi will get his own standalone title that is not a repurposed Mario game or part of the Mansion series.
what do you think it'll be? Side scroller?
I want it to either be a side scroller or an adventure game, just his own adventure game like Galaxy or something like that.
Right. They can get really weird with it, like Super Princess Peach. That was a really
I
weird
like
side scroller.
I think I like Luigi games just because they go in places that they don't take Mario.
We've talked about this, I think, in the game ideas where we talked about Mario, but
Yeah.
like Mario is almost like a Superman, where it's
Mhm.
like he has. Actually, no, I don't want to get into that because people are like Superman does so have a character, but I mean, people kind of give it like a generic sense to Superman, where he seems like this Ubermensch or whatever.
Right.
And that's exactly like Mario too, but it's even more so with
there's
Mario. There's
a-
no personality,
There's a
but Luigi's like afraid and.
there's a psychology term for what Mario is. They call him a neutral mask. They keep him bland and impersonal so you can project yourself onto him.
Enough Luigi. Number
All right.
3.
Nintendo is going to announce that there's going to be a new Etrian Odyssey. I already know that they're remaking they're making Etrinasi 2, Untold 2. But they're going to have another one that's not part of the Untold series. It's not part of the main series for the Wii U.
Whoa!
And it's going to be a party RPG, I guess is what I would call it. Where you can have, Diablo-ish. Where you can, everyone can have their own character and you can all meet up and do fun things.
That sounds cool. Okay, that's out there, but not out of the realm of possibility. How about your last one? Your last prediction for E3 2015.
I have 2 left. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I did say. Okay, go on.
All right, number 4 is Peach is going to get another shot at a stand at her own solo game. But this time, she's going
to have sex.
She's going to be teamed up with Daisy and that lady from Galaxy. They're going to have a Charlie's Angel.
Rosalina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a Charlie's Angel type adventure. The people that made Fire Emblem.
So you want like a tactics game?
Yeah. But, with those 3 as the main characters.
Okay.
Is that possible? You think that's...
What about co-opt our game ideas thing, and it's actually an RTS where Peach has to crap out toads, and she sends the toads out to do her bidding.
Oh man, I still think that would be an awesome game.
Okay, and your last prediction.
There will be another main numbered SMT. I think it might be a spin-off of the main line, but it could be 5.
But I think it'll be a while until we see like the number 5, because the time between 3 and 4 was a long time.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities to see another Shin Megami Tensei game of some sort.
Then again, most of my Nintendo predictions involve Atlas.
Yeah, so Nintendo is Atlas, Square Enix is PlayStation, and Xbox is just all over. Xbox is predictions of stuff that's already happened.
Oh god.
Alright, well, wasn't that fun? Well,
it was fun.
Shay, Lauren, whoever is here.
We're all here.
Thank you for joining me again. This was a long episode.
It's actually one of our shorter ones. It just took us like 3 hours to record it.
So, what are your predictions for E3? Let us know in the comments below. You can read all my stuff. You can watch my videos. You can find Lauren somewhere on the internet. You can find Shay somewhere on the internet. You can find us all somewhere doing something for me. That's basically what it all amounts to. So,
yeah, we live to serve.
Yes, exactly. I am me and he. I am everybody. I am the walrus. I am
Legion, for we are many.
Yeah, well, I know we've been pretty weak on the bloopers in the past couple episodes, but this one is chock full of good ones. They are pretty raunchy, and yeah, Lauren wasn't lying. It took us like 3 hours to do this podcast. I don't know, too much sugar, or it's the weekend, or something. So, of course, to all you YouTube listeners out there, go ahead and go into the Bandcamp and help support us. Buy the episode, because you won't regret it. And, get Lauren out of the treehouse in her toilet. Okay, so join us next time where we talk about some more stuff. But yeah, talk to y'all next time.
Bye.